Thank you, Honourable Member. You may continue.
As I was saying earlier, Mr. Speaker, this is a second statement in less than 2 weeks on an economy by a treasurer in this parliament. I have been around here for over 20 years, and I've never seen this before. Obviously, there are some challenges in our economy, and I think the treasurer has noted that. But to take things lightly, and for me, I don't mind being insulted and intimidated and arrested and all those things. But you can never silence me, Mr. Speaker, as long as I enjoy the mandate of my people. Mr. Speaker, speaking about the economic data before us, since the good member for KVN and Treasurer was in opposition, he has been rewriting the numbers to suit his argument for a while. He ignores the numbers that are presented by the official government agencies. Bank of Papua New Guinea, National Statistical Office, all the other agencies, even independent studies. So I don't mind him continuously presenting numbers that suits his argument. That is his business, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I did not interrupt him when he was insulting me. Why can't he just shut up and sit down? Let us say that, you have your position and I have mine. But, Mr. Speaker, we know that the economy is growing, the GDP is growing. And that's largely due to the boom in the resource commodity prices that we are enjoying today. It's got nothing to do with the treasurer's performance. Absolutely nothing. These commodity prices are a reflection of what is happening outside the global economy. Gold, copper, LNG prices at record levels today. Instead of focusing on the issues that are before us, the treasurer comes here and makes a grandiose political statements. But, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Forget about insults and everything else, but focus on a few things. And I'll be very constructive. Focus on the issue about cost of living in this country. If you have not been to the shops lately, please try go shopping once in a while. You will see the real struggles families are going through. I can tell you, Minister, 90% of the population don't believe in what you're saying.
Mr. Member for Mayalupange, you address it to me, not direct to the Minister.
Because of the reality that they are facing every day. So, Mr. Speaker, we need to be careful on what we do and what we say in this honorable house. And when you talk about creation of jobs in the manufacturing sector, yes, we know. You met with the Manufacturing Council and you posted a lovely picture. Of course, some of them are your relatives. Some of their businesses might be able to, of course, have some growth. But the rest of the industry is suffering. As far as we know, there are cuts all the time. We've seen the front pages of the newspapers, so I don't have to explain to this House and the Treasurer. But reality is that people are losing jobs everywhere. And here you are telling the Parliament that jobs are available and people are getting jobs, but they are not seeing it. It's not about political point scoring in here. Treasurer need to stop. You need to put your own mark on the economy in this country and let people judge you. Don't judge it that you are doing all these wonderful jobs yourself. Let the people judge you that you are doing the right thing. I think the only person who believes in you is your Prime Minister. I know there were some 100 billion and 40 billion projects announced somewhere in Marape and Eastern Islands and a few other places. But those announcements have come to nothing. These are sort of investments that create jobs, Mr. Speaker. So stop talking and let's get some of these projects off the ground. Total off the ground, or Papua LNG off the ground, which you are doing, and we support that. That will create thousands of jobs for Papua New Guineans. Try and get WAFI off the ground. That has been on discussion table for the last 6-7 years. Let's try and get, of course, Pasca and Pinyang, and especially Pogra off the ground. Pogra, we have lost almost 3 billion kina a year in revenue for the state. 3 billion kina in the last 3 years. That's the money that you are now borrowing from IMF. You don't have to go to IMF if you had kept Pogra going. But stop setting dates that we cannot afford to meet, giving people false expectations. Papua New Guineans, thousands, over 3,000 or 4,000, I think Papua New Guineans lost their jobs there. Countless of SMEs, truckies, contractors, subcontractors, now the landowners who are not receiving any benefits. It's because we have not handled this transaction well. So let's get it, stop talking and let's get it off the ground, give it priority. So, Mr. Speaker, all in all, let me say this. There are challenges in our economy, our families are struggling, our people are struggling. We in opposition want to support constructive things. But the Treasurer's statement certainly lacks that. Certainly lacks that. As I said, I've been around for a while. I've seen the Treasurer come to Parliament and leave. I'll be still here when he comes back. But I will keep on saying what is good for the people of this country, and our own people deserve a break. They deserve our Treasurer and our government to give them hope. Hope that everything will be okay. Everything tomorrow, they will have a meal on the table for their families. They will have an income when they get a job. That is what they want to hear. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this company, ePoint, is owned and controlled by an associate of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister can either confirm or deny that. But we ask that they table all the contract documents and the amounts of money that has been paid to this particular company. That company includes ePoint and Taripori Development Corporation, Oceanic, and Clean Green Energy, Mr. Speaker. Why I ask these questions are that because we believe that some of the procurement processes have been abused. Yes. Many of the contracts that are issued are deliberately under 10 million kina and paid on many occasions below that amount to avoid tender processing and the procurement requirements by the NPC law. So we need visibility on that, Mr. Speaker, and the Prime Minister needs to disclose his relationship with the owners of the company and what is his role in those companies, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, the Minister for Works is a company that has got contracts from this particular program called Tumla Construction, owned by a staff, his former staff, Mr. Speaker. Again, it has received tens of millions of kina. I'm quite happy to name the name, but out of respect for the gentleman, I am not. But, Mr. Speaker, the company is called Tumla Construction. Now, those contracts, again, are issued below 10 million kina deliberately to avoid procurement process. Mr. Speaker, we've also received that there was 18 soldiers out of this program, 18 soldiers received 191,000 kina, 613 toya per person per soldier. What are these payments for? Secondly, Mr. Speaker, there's been IACAS, many IACAS, but one in particular has been receiving 101,000 kina per month. Again, I ask the Minister, what is this for? Mr. Speaker, this is Connect PNG program. Why are we spending 785,209 kina to planting flowers at your head office? Planting flowers at your head office, Mr. Speaker. The other question, Mr. Speaker, is that a Medivac was paid to Pacific International Hospital for 220,700 kina. For yourself, Minister. Is that for yourself to Gold Coast or to Australia? How does that connect to Connect PNG program? Mr. Speaker. Further, Mr. Speaker, there's 170,000 kina paid to a school fee in United Kingdom for an individual. How does that connect to Connect PNG program, Mr. Speaker? And lastly, Mr. Speaker, 152,800 kina was paid to Sunday Bulletin. What is that for? How does that connect to PNG? Connect PNG program? Mr. Speaker, why we are asking that question is that the program itself is good, except that money is being spent on things that we don't know about. Mr. Speaker, there is abuse of trust and confidence of the people of this country.
But it's a serious matter. The finance minister has called for independent audit firm to look into what's happening in the Works Department. We are not here to allow for impropriety or breaking of the due process for procurement. If anyone is found to have offended the law, the process will take its course. I welcome the member for Yalupangia. We set up ICAC. ICAC is run by overseas commissioners. Present the reports to ICAC. Present the reports to police. Present the report to Ombudsman. All our leaders' declaration